Welcome to today's genealogy lesson on FamilySearch. It is one of my favorite genealogy sites, but I want to share more about that. Many people aren't using it yet, or if they're using it, they're just doing cursory searches and not really diving into what's available. And one of the things I've always loved to do is figuring out how to get the most out of a software tool or a web tool and then sharing that information with other people. So we're focusing on FamilySearch, and this is our first lesson, and it's going to be more of an introduction. So if you've been using FamilySearch for a little bit, you can skip to the next lesson if you wish, but if you're just getting started, this is a great place to do that. So when I get started either with a new person or with revisiting somebody I've researched before, the three things I like to start with is, of course, FamilySearch, ancestry, and family knowledge and records. And pulling those all together, it's a great way to really figure out what's there in some of those key resources and then outline a plan for whatever your next steps are. But this is really where I get started. And why FamilySearch? It's the amount of records, the fact that they're digitizing more records all the time, but it's still just a slight fraction of what's available is digitized, but it's what's there in their archives. And you can see these numbers. These are from April 2019, but they're updating information and adding new records all the time. On their blog, they do post collections that have been added during the previous month. And so that's a great way to sort of stay on top of what's there and what's becoming available. Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. There we go. All right. Welcome to today's genealogy lesson. We are going to focus on FamilySearch. It is one of my favorite genealogy sites, but I find that there's people that aren't yet using it or aren't using it to its fullest potential. And one of the things that I've always enjoyed doing is diving into a software tool or a web tool and really figuring out how to use it well and how to utilize all the different resources that are there for whatever you're trying to do. So we're going to focus on FamilySearch. As I get started with a new person or with revisiting somebody I've researched before to double check things, I really start with FamilySearch as one of three key starting points, and that includes ancestry and then family knowledge and records. And looking at all three of those together, you get a great view of where you are, and then you can map out a plan for what you want to do next. Why FamilySearch specifically? It's both the amount of records that are available as well as what they've been and have already digitized and what they're doing day to day. They're continually adding new resources. You can see these stats from April 2019, but each month they post a list of collections that have been updated or added to their archives that then are available for us to search. So if you are just getting started with FamilySearch, you'll want to create a free account. You do not need to be a member of the church in order to create an account, and it only needs your name, your birth date, and your gender, and that's just their way of collecting some information from you, but it's easy to create the account and then sign in and use it. The other things to do as you're getting started is to utilize research logs. It's a way to track what you're already doing, what's been done before, and quickly get up to speed if you've been away from researching a particular ancestor for a while. If you haven't used research logs before, there is an example in the FamilySearch Wiki. That website's on the presentation. And Thomas McKentie's already also done a great job of compiling a wonderful research log with examples of citations and examples of how to organize the research log itself. The one that I use is actually based on Thomas's. I kind of took what he had and then adjusted it for how I was researching, sort of revisiting research on my ancestors at the time. And it just lets me have a process that I can use as I'm doing that and then add next steps to that research log. The other thing that we do is create research questions, and you want them to be SMART. And that's an acronym that I came across when I was doing career coaching. So SMART stands for specific. You want it about a specific person, event, family. You want it to be measurable. You want to know when you're sort of done with it or when you've answered the question. You want it to be achievable. Is it something that you can find information on? Sometimes with records lost or the time frame, you're not going to be able to answer the question. Um, R is reasonable, and that fits in with the genealogical proof standard. Is it you conducted the reasonably exhaustive search? And then task specific, and that's where you outline your tasks in the research log itself. So our research question that we're going to use for these genealogy lessons was Victoria Jones Smosh, my grandmother, who married Felix Marcel Shabinsky, my grandfather, was she born in Chicago, Illinois, November 17th, 1913? And Vicky is the pretty woman that is in the starting slide, along with my mother. But this is our research question that's sort of going to be the focus of the case studies in the lesson, as well as the research that we're going to be doing. So put this lesson into practice before you move on. If you haven't already done so, create the FamilySearch account. If you haven't already done so, start a research log. You can use the example through FamilySearch or Thomas McKenzie's example, or just starting your own, keeping track of where you've searched, how you've searched, and what you found. And then write out at least one research question. This will help you focus the time that you have for genealogy, as well as track whether you have the information you need to provide an answer to that. And then if you have any questions, please email me at julie@hayska.org or post those in the comments section. Happy researching.